Travel and economics coming together in this interview where we're taking a look at our MasterCard Worldwide Insight into Global Cities. So Dr. Yuwa, first of all, what are the key aspects of this Insight report?
Well, we're trying to look at the connectivity between some of the most important cities in the world and really the human dimension of that connectivity. Passengers' arrival and to what extent they're spending in the destination cities and stimulating and driving the urban economies and so on in these cities. We cover 132 cities in the world, and we tracked their data over the past 3 years, including the forecast for this year. So this is really what's included in the inaugural issue.
It's a very comprehensive report, a lot of valuable information for those people involved in, well, banking sectors through to travel and aviation.
Yes.
And we'll start off, I mean, we want to focus on the Middle East, but let's start off and look at some of the key findings from a global perspective.
Right.
London being the city which attracts most visitors.
Yes.
What sort of growth is being perceived for London?
Well, for London, it's not only number of visitors, but also spending of the visitors in London as well. You know, we're expecting about $25 billion spent in London. So making it the world's number one. The growth rate is healthy, about 6% overall. So with such high base, 6% actually adds a lot each year. You know, you don't need double-digit growth to bring the numbers up very quickly. But for London also, London has this huge network of cities to which it's connected. That's really the strength. You know, whereas many other destination cities, the top 10 would account for 80% of arrivals and expenditure. For London, the top 40 accounts for about half of visitor arrivals and expenditure.
Number two is Paris, but then you've got sort of what you could say new entrants like Istanbul and Barcelona, which are seeing impressive growth. Why for those two cities, do you think?
Well, I think for Istanbul, it's been so successful in the last 20 years to leverage its strategic location. So now it's the gateway for a lot of Asian businesses, business from within the Middle East to Europe, and vice versa. You know, and of course, you know, it has a huge base of what I see as a very rich cultural, historical heritage going back to the Roman times. Layering on top is all these new business activities. Right, that combination is very, very powerful.
And now moving here into the Middle East, let's focus on that and where we are in Dubai. What's the position of Dubai on this global chart?
Well, I think Dubai is now ranked number 9 in terms of visitor arrivals. So that's a very, very impressive performance. You know, and last year I think Dubai ranked 11. So it's really moving up, making it to the top 10 for the first time. And within the region, Dubai clearly plays a key role, and Dubai, from my point of view, really does not have any close competitor within the region.
And your figures also look at the origin cities, where the traffic is coming from into, for example, Dubai. And it was interesting, London number 1, Kuwait second, I think it was. And then third would have been?
It's Beijing.
Beijing,
Beijing. And Beijing wasn't even on the map a few years ago.
Of course not,
Right? So that number that we're seeing is like a 50% year-on-year growth. This is just massive. You know?
We're picking on a few facts and figures, and something was interesting. Dubai 9th in the index when it comes to numbers, but when it comes to expenditure, it's at 18. And this is like the city of gold, the city of shopping. So why do you think it's lower?
Because I think there's a lot more short-term travel. The duration is a lot shorter. Because Dubai actually attracts a lot of intra-regional arrivals. So they tend to stay for a shorter period of time. Think about going to New York, you know, you either cross the Atlantic or even farther away across the Pacific and then the continent itself. Even from South America, it's an easy 6-7 hour plane ride. You don't do short visits to New York. I think that's a big difference.
Abu Dhabi is seeing progressive growth with the attractions and developments of the capital of the UAE. And it's interesting to see the origin cities for Abu Dhabi are very different to Dubai.
Yes, it's largely intra-regional. So Abu Dhabi clearly does not have the kind of reach that Dubai has now. But, you know, with the way that Abu Dhabi is growing, I think the configuration of origin city is likely to change very quickly in the coming years.
With Abu Dhabi's London, Jeddah, Frankfurt, it's obviously destinations which are big on the network of the national carrier.
Yes.
And that's indicated by the fact that Manchester is there in Abu Dhabi, but it doesn't show up regarding Dubai.
Correct, yes. But I should also point out, though, the carriers are very, very keen to exploit any opportunities they see. So if the demand is there, they will be there in short order. So we will see, you know,
And of course, the report covers other key cities in the region, which we haven't got enough time to go through. There's so much information, but as I said before, very useful information for those involved in the different sectors. But I will finish off from Dubai's perspective. Traffic going out of Dubai, some interesting factors there, because number 2 on outbound traffic is Kabul in Afghanistan, ahead of London, which, I mean, those figures are outstanding.
Outstanding indeed. I think it's number 3. To be honest, I have no clue what's going on there. I haven't had time to look into the details, so it's a bit of a surprise. But it's something to research, you know, further. I think the only thing we know is that the air connection basically was made only 2 years ago. And it's been growing by leaps and bounds since. So I don't know who are the people.
A big rush of expatriates wanting to go home, perhaps.
Perhaps, or there's a lot of construction projects, right, sponsored by the U.S. government, European governments. So maybe there's a lot of business opportunities that for the Dubai-based businesses, especially infrastructure.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on AMEinfo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.